Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Alt Kings podcast. I'm your host, Tate, with my co-host, Corbin, and today we have a one-of-a-kind project on known as Koala Club. They are big in the Hedera space, and we're so thankful to have them here.
One of the OG projects.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for having us on. We're really looking forward to this. So I know we just connected a couple days ago. And,
yes.
I reached out to you like, hey, man, like, we would love to chat, love to talk, give you some updates, talk about things we got going on at Koala Club. But yeah, we're really appreciative of the opportunity. So thanks for having us on.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah,
that's
no
awesome.
Worries. And so my main question here is, we have three of you here as well. Like, whose idea sparked this project?
That's kind of hard because like me and Buck, we kind of came together at the same time, and he was, talking about the wildfires and in Australia and everything, and I was coming up with different pet ideas, and it's like just kind of sparked together when we came of like koalas. To be honest,
it was definitely like we were talking about like Cat in the Hat, like on a skateboard. We were talking about so many ideas, trying to get something that was like different and unique. And since we were choosing Hedera, like we knew, but it's very hard. There was no marketplace. There was nothing to see to make sure that we weren't like doing something else. But there's a lot of pixel art and just like more, visual type like drawings and whatnot. And I mean, we wanted to make a difference to the power of, NFTs, which is our mission statement. And that's just really, I think Koalas was like, it just was kind of like a sign because they have like mental health issues too. We didn't know that till, doing this. And
we know a lot about koalas now.
Yeah. And there's just
They're very, very interesting animals. That's for sure.
Yeah. Super unique. And, picking up through, like, I got this Australian bark box for my dog or something like that. And there was like a kangaroo and a koala in there. And it's just kind of like insinuated that, we should
let's run with it.
Yeah.
It was a sign from the heavens that said, hey, this is your journey and your destiny. This is what you need to do.
I mean, the artwork's amazing. So, I mean, I can't put it past you guys to go with a koala.
Yeah.
We really appreciate it. Our artist does an excellent job. So, I mean, Cab, you can probably chime in a little bit more because you're a lot more familiar with her than I am. You're typically the one that deals with her, but maybe just explain a little bit about her background and things she's doing and stuff like that.
Yeah, the artist is she lives in Indonesia, so it's kind of like a 12-13 hour difference. So usually when we're up,
it's hard.
Wow.
It kind of works perfectly, honestly, because it's like when we're sleeping, she's working, and then when we're up, we can do things, and it's like kind of works out pretty good. And it's pretty awesome because like the more, relationship, because we met her online, and the relationship that we've gained is just like we've, done life changing because of the currency exchange rate and everything. Yeah. It's like she's really excited, her family can, live a little bit better and everything. So that's kind of makes a good feeling. Yeah.
That is awesome.
I kind of think like we're helping to fulfill her dream because she was working like 3 or 4 different like weird odd jobs and stuff like that and just kind of doing whatever she could to put food on the table. And now it's like she's a full-time artist. She's thriving. I mean, she does artwork for us. She does artwork for other projects as well. But, I think we kind of like helped launch her art career and made it take off. So, now she's able to fully support herself, like just strictly through art, which is amazing. Yeah. So it tied in.
I feel like that's very common in just the NFT space with a lot of like Eastern side of the world people. Like they have great art backgrounds and stuff, but they've never been able to utilize it until now. And now they get to show it off to the whole entire world.
Exactly. Yeah, that's like one of the beautiful things about crypto is, like a lot of these artists like were, traditionally, 5, 10, 20, 30, 50 years ago, artists like, unless you died, it was like you never became famous or made money off your art,
Yeah, it's
so
sad.
Now it's like a lot of these people are being found, and then like it only takes like, one big investor or one project to kind of like recognize you, and then your career and your life can take off afterwards. So, we're definitely super happy that, we're able to kind of help her fulfill her dreams as far as like her art career is concerned.
Yeah, I think
awesome.
the same thing. I'm pretty sure the same thing actually happened to Panda Syndicate as well. Lazy Day is based out of, I believe, Thailand, Indonesia, somewhere out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that guy's an artist. So
he's an amazing artist. I actually started out before Koala Club as a mod in Panda Syndicates, so it was really cool to kind of experience that side too.
Yeah, that was our second NFT project that we held on the podcast.
Yeah, he's an awesome dude.
Yeah. So you guys just released Mint 2 of the Koala Club.
Yeah.
How did that go?
They went fabulous, to be honest.
Yeah. Tell them it went well. I was just seeing your guys' point of view on it all.
It went great, but without a little hitches here and there. So
Sure.
I mean, it was Kat. Maybe you want to touch on that, or Buck? I guess, yeah.
Yeah, behind the scenes, it was honestly like really stressful. We had too many traits and like for generation and everything. And then we had a lot of rare traits, and it's like we had to go back through and like basically take out a lot of things. So then we narrowed down on to a good, currency, because we're basically having 2 drops within Gen 2. So we did 800 this time, we'll do 1,000, in our drop 2.
Yeah.
And we just kind of had to think about the whole entire drop, rarities, help the community. But I would say, just without all the stress and everything, once we were done, it was so nice to see like the profile pictures of the community and how excited they were to see and represent the Koala Club. I think that was the most rewarding part.
Yeah.
It's been quite a long time since we had a last drop, like end of February, beginning of March timeframe. And then we didn't have anything in between. We had some charity auctions and stuff like that, but we were just really getting a foundation built for, our holders. So when we had a next drop, it had a backbone to it. So it was just like refreshing to get something out and just have it to be like really successful in our eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that you guys gave away over $15,000 in donations, correct?
Correct.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's throughout
That's
the entire
amazing.
of the project. Yeah.
Wow.
And it's been the koala's mental health, helping kids like eat, and it's just really awesome. And especially the emails that we get back, it's like saying thank you and everything. It makes us just want to keep donating, and just keep going as far as we can.
Our first donation was what was it, Cap? The Kentucky relief of the tornado that happened in November, December. It was December,
2021.
And 2021. Yeah.
And we used the Kringle koalas, and used that to the donation. And then we had Save the Kids was in February, and then we did what's the Koala Sanctuary
Live Free 999.
Yeah, and then for mental health, we did Live Free 999, which is just
awesome.
Somewhere where if you're feeling alone and just, you need to talk to someone, there's a 24.
Actually, I think I have that shirt on right now. 999 Club. And
that
it's like we call them
awesome.
for like mental health and everything. Yeah.
And that was kind of like always like the ethos and kind of the mission behind the project was, we wanted to make a difference in the world through the power of NFTs. Unfortunately, too many times, like you see like NFT projects where it's just like kind of a cash grab thing or whatever it may be. So we thought like, hey, if we can do something that can impact people's lives or, different charities and foundations and contribute to that, like then it really makes a difference. Because if, like Buck always says, like, if you're trying to just make a donation by yourself, like it's pretty difficult, but that it's one of the beautiful things about like the crypto industry in general and like a lot of the NFT communities is you can band a bunch of people together and then, through people kind of pooling money, like through DAOs and other things, you can really make a large donation that makes an impact, like I said, on people's lives or different, donations and charities. So that was like always like one of the main missions. Like, hey, if we can accomplish this goal, then we feel like we've at least like, done our positive impact on the world. So,
yeah. And I was going to say that kind of leads into, we're actually partnering with an in real life sanctuary in Australia. Yeah. And we'll have a little bit more news and information we can release publicly once we get some things, figured out. But yeah, we'll be, definitely, we have some exciting news about that, but yeah, it's going to be really cool.
Sneak peeks.
Yeah, exactly. So for instance, like, a percentage of our Gen 2 mint, percentage of our Gen 3 mint, we're releasing a play to earn game, hopefully like late Q1 or Q2 of 2023. So percentage
you beat me to it.
Exactly. And also 2% of all of our royalties are going to be donated to the sanctuary. So, we're super excited about that. We've kind of narrowed it down to like 2 or 3 different sanctuaries that we have our eyes on in Australia. And we're getting some help with some, I don't want to give away too much information before we can announce these things, but we basically have a large personality, a large influencer, whatever you want to call him, based in the UK, multi-time best-selling author, 325,000 different followers,
mountain climber,
adventurer, TV host. Hopefully this partnership with him will bring in a lot of attention to the project in general. And then he's going to help kind of facilitate the partnership with the sanctuary because he has such a great relationship with a lot of communities and a lot of businesses and stuff down in Australia as well. So over the next couple of weeks, definitely keep your eyes out for that. But like I said, the main thing is if we can grow the community, we get more people involved, then the more charitable donations, the more impact we can make on these sanctuaries. So we're definitely excited to make some of these announcements over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Like, Cap and I sat down and, we were talking about last year, we want a Koala Club sanctuary or a partnership or something like that. And it's just like, sometimes you just gotta be patient and just do your thing. And, what you're manifesting or envisioning is going to come. You can't just force it overnight. And so
we've been manifesting this for a while.
Yeah. It's just really cool to look back and what we've done in a year and what, we're going to continue to do. And that's just something we always wanted to do. So that's a huge thing for us with the Koala Sanctuary. So it's just crazy.
It's a great accomplishment.
That's awesome. Yeah. Awesome. Especially when you have a vision towards a project or an idea and it just continues to spark and flow down just the path. And you don't even realize it halfway down the path and you're like, look how far we've came. Yeah. And you don't even realize it.
Exactly, man. Yeah.
Cap says that a lot. And it's really nice when he says that because it gives me a chance to reflect on what we've done and each of us what we've done as well. So it's just
And you guys, you were talking about that big influencer over in the UK, and it's going to be amazing how much he'll be able to help your guys' project. But it's also just going to bring more eyes to the whole entire Hedera space of NFTs. Because I mean, if he has that big of a following, it's just going to continue to grow this whole entire space because more eyes will not only come to you guys first, but then they want to see what else is out there.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the truth. And we also have some things where, we'll have releasing announcements and such coming up, but we're reaching out to, Asian communities and Spanish communities and a whole bunch coming to Hedera community. So that's going to be really exciting to talk about.
Yeah. And that's one of the great and beautiful things about the Hedera NFT ecosystem. Obviously you guys are well versed and you kind of get it. And the culture, that's especially in the community is everyone knows each other. It's extremely tight knit and close. When you go from one Discord to another or Twitter, everyone's following each other, everyone interacts with each other, everyone knows what's going on in their personal lives, whether it's the relationships, kids, jobs, whatever it may be. But at the same time, it's kind of a double-edged sword to where eventually we do need to grow the ecosystem and kind of expand and get more people involved. Now that might not be the best thing, I guess, in some regards, because then it's we lose a little bit of the magic that we kind of have within the ecosystem at the moment. But, if we really want to make a difference and we really want to grow and, expand the communities, then we need to start building bridges. We need to reach out to other communities. We need to reach out to other people. And I think just in general, if we can all, whether it's, individual community members or projects, if we can bring in other people from different chains. So, if we bring in people from Ethereum or Solana or Matic or Cardano, as they come in and they kind of experience not only obviously the amazing technology that the Hashgraph network has, but really the culture and everything that we've established, kind of as a lot of the OGs in the space, then I really think all of a sudden at that point, we're kind of primed for liftoff and the space is just going to start booming. And then once again, at that point, the projects that have really well positioned themselves, have good missions, have good communities, they'll be extremely successful. So, like you were saying, the more people we can bring in from whether it's, influencers or marketing avenues that we're going down, it's just going to help us in the long term, not only as a space, but obviously as a project. So we just really hope that hey, the more people come in, that means the more money we can donate and the more we can improve on these charities that we're trying to give money to. So
it's a very smart strategy.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's also cool that it's worldwide as well. So, it's not just in the US or in Thailand or even in Mexico or other places. It's everywhere. And it's cool to see that people are sort of, going out and I guess you could say canvassing kind of in their local communities to, spread the word. I know that Slim Gringo of Tokamex does that all of the time. I want to say Fresh does too with his clubs and stuff. So it's just cool to see that that people are really, really taking this seriously and are really trying to just get the word out. Cause I think that's the biggest thing. You don't see media really talking about it at all, except maybe CNBC. I see Brad Garlinghouse on there every once in a while, but that's pretty much it. So exactly.
We
We need more media for it. That's that's where we come in. But yeah.
We appreciate it. Yeah. Spread the word.
Yeah, I think King
Absolutely.
Solomon was saying, kind of like the same thing. Like we, Maul, you spoke on it too. Just about like not burning bridges with other projects and saying, oh, we're better than them and we're better than this and that. And just that doesn't get anywhere. We just need to grow as a space. So, like what you guys are doing, and it's definitely helping and making a difference.
Yeah, and I think like most HBAR barbarians in general, like we are extremely passionate. We're extremely knowledgeable about the network. Like we understand like we're all here for a reason. I think a lot of people, like when they kind of start like their crypto journey and then go down the rabbit hole, it's like obviously like everyone starts with like, okay, like you figure out what crypto is, like what's Bitcoin, what's Ethereum, what's proof of work, what's proof of stake, and then all of a sudden like eventually if you kind of go down far enough in the rabbit hole, like you find Hedera, you find Hashgraph, and then like that was kind of like my experience. Like when I first got into crypto, like after a while I was like, okay, this is definitely the one. Like these guys got it figured out.
You see Dr. Lehman's Harvard talk.
Yeah, exactly. That was like the one, like eye-opening one for me. I was like, holy shit. Okay, this is amazing. Like if I was ever to get into like a Web3 job, like I would want something that's involved in the Hashgraph network.
Yeah.
Did I imagine myself like 2 years ago, whatever, like being on an NFT project? Like, no. I was just like a, random person, like buying a bunch of crypto and investing and everything like that and flipping and trading. But, we've come such a long way. So I think that in general, if we can like educate the masses as people come in, then we can make the network really grow. And like I said, it's just a matter of time before kind of like the floodgates are open and people start pouring into this area.
Yeah. Cause I mean, it's only been a year in like the Hedera NFT space as well. And, we just gotta be patient and, let it grow.
I think
Patient
the way
and
that's
persistent.
been growing. Yeah, a lot of consistency is just, it's been helping the community. And like looking back from when we first started or when we first even jumped into the community, it's been over a year now, just, being in the community before Koala Club even. And like just to see the adaptation and like the change of the community has been unreal, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's really
And all the tools and everything that have been built, like the space has come such a long way over the last 12 months. It's like, it's kind of been like, you almost feel like you're part of history, like because we know.
No, you are a part of history.
It's not going
That's the thing. You are a part of history. Like this is like history being made right now.
So it's a really cool feeling to be like, like, hey, we kind of like cemented our place in here, and like these are the things that we're helping to do. So, whether your patches and Turtle Moon Club, like where you're building out tools for the entire network that builds it. Between like Hashgraph.io, his Launchpad, everything he's doing, all the different people that are building on the network right now. It's like we all kind of have the same goal to where like we want everyone to be successful. And I think as like things continue to get built out, it's just like I said, it's a matter of time before the space truly flourishes. So it's an exciting time to be involved in this whole entire space.
Yep. We want everybody to be successful, but we don't want anybody to get rugged. That's the big thing.
Yes, absolutely.
We find all rugs, and I love it.
Yeah, unless you do buy a pixel rug. That's the only exception.
Okay.
That's the only acceptable rug in the space.
Yes.
I've got quite a few myself, so big fan of Brandon. He's got an awesome project. Obviously, he's a legend in the space, so
love
he
Brandon.
does a lot to help educate and doing things. So like I was saying earlier, I mean, he's the one that like he goes constantly on these Twitter Spaces and on different podcasts, and he's trying to do stuff cross-chain to where he's bringing people in. So these are the exact type of ambassadors that we want for the space that help to grow the community and get more people involved in the network.
Yeah, I think that's what makes the Hedera, space stand out from like Solana and Ethereum is just like we're willing to work together, and if there's tools that another project doesn't have, they're willing to let them have access to it or a discounted price or something, that's actually helpful.
Without a doubt, like it's amazing to see stuff like that as well, because when you go to networks like Ethereum and Solana and you join these projects and you invest your money into them. And I've also experienced this. I don't know if you guys know what like Near protocol is. They have their whole entire own marketplace of NFTs as well. Mm-hmm. And it feels just really like shark eats shark out there. Like it just like
absolutely.
It's cutthroat.
There's no way to really. It's either sink or swim. That's it.
Yeah,
that's all I've ever gotten from those. Communities.
It's really just like a lot of quick flippers, traders, like people like, okay, I'm trying to get in, build off some of the hype. If you're lucky enough to mint, then you can flip it and make a bunch of money, and then like you go on to the next project. Yeah. Whereas like that's the beautiful thing about the Hedera community is so many people, like once again, like we all know each other, we're all invested in each other's projects. Like you see everyone in the same projects, whether that can be good or bad. But the positive thing is, like everyone is willing and invested, and they're trying to make sure that each project's successful. And just the culture that we've kind of built, like as the early adopters of the space, I think really goes a long way. So, when the people do come from Solana, Ethereum, Cardano, Near, Matic, wherever it may be, I think a lot of the newcomers, like when they first get here, they're like, oh my God, like everyone's friends here. Everyone's cool. Like it's not just everyone's trying to slit each other's throats. Like this is like completely new as far as like the NFT space or crypto space is concerned. So it's something I think that we should all be very proud of as HBARbarians and, people that are, influencing the network in general and building on it, that we've been able to create this type of culture for a network. It's kind of like almost unheard of.
I just wanted to touch on that actually. Like when there's a new project that comes on and the Discord finally opens up, it's like a family reunion. You see everybody that you haven't talked to in forever. We all just jump in there.
And then the grilling of the creator starts of like, what are your intentions here?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. People start questioning things and like, all right,
it's the great intervention.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So rule number 1 of Koala Fight Club.
You're not supposed to talk about it, but unfortunately, we probably do need to talk about it.
Who's developing the game? That's my first question. If you're able to release that.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to. We are literally within probably 2 weeks to 3 weeks of making the official announcement. So I'm sorry we can't do it now.
No worries.
Between signing legal contracts,
gotcha.
dotting all the I's, crossing all the T's.
So you guys are a whole entire LLC. Koala Club is an LLC. Nice.
Yeah. That's the way of going. All that set up and everything like that. Yeah.
Yeah. You got to be that way.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of like funny because when I first joined the team and everything like that, that's kind of some of like my background experience to where like I have a very strong business background.
Sure.
And I wanted to help Captain Buck out that, and like that was one of the first questions asked. I was like, hey, so do we have an LLC set up? And they're like, no, man, what are you talking about? And so I was like, all right, like we got some things we need to get in order here, but we have made a lot of strides over the last 6 months. So I'll give them credit. Like they've definitely they've taken a lot of my advice, and I think we've kind of positioned ourselves and set ourselves up for success for the future. So
Maul, you are the oldest out of all.
He's like our dad.
He's like our dad.
Yeah.
See? Exactly.
How'd you guys meet him? How'd you guys meet him then?
Yeah. So funny story. So I mean, I was just like one of like the original people that aped into koalas. So like,
Nice.
I've been in like HBAR NFTs like from the beginning to like, back in like last summer. So like when things were first starting off, like and Exact just first got going and we were doing, peer-to-peer trades that were strictly built on trust. Like you were sending someone like, you can buy this NFT for 8,000 HBAR. Hopefully you send me the NFT. Like, and it was just like if you didn't go through with it, then like you immediately got blacklisted and like people like basically shamed you. And it was like, you got like put on blast.
It's like a town square. There's people with the bells.
Yeah, that's exactly
right. Yeah. So basically, like I was one of the original people that kind of aped into the projects, and I really didn't come on board till March. Like I got involved like in January, like within like collecting koalas. But I was one of the 51st EVIP members on Koala Hash Club, and then just because at that point maybe selfishly like I put a lot of HBAR into it, like I wanted to see the project succeed. So like I started just kind of like pitching ideas and saying like, hey, we should maybe do this or look into this. And then eventually like Cap and Buck just, whether it's through persistence or they just got annoyed, they're like, hey, like let's take a call with this guy and like, let's see if he's like actually like knows what he's doing or if he's a complete idiot.
No, I remember that actually. Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Say we had an EVIP meeting and Malsa just starts talking to ideas with a lot of community members that are just saying great ideas. And I'm like, I call Buck. I'm like, yo, we got to get this guy on. Like, talk to him.
And I remember that day. It's really weird. I was on a walk, like, I walk a lot. And I remember that. And it was just like, it was just really cool for us to like acknowledge what those ideas were. We just didn't go, oh, he's just trying to be better than us. Like I think we can all, we like constructive criticism.
Yes.
When people say, this and this, you know what I mean? And it was just to get someone on board. Cause like, just to get another perspective, an older perspective on, things like that.
And older because we've always turned towards
I'm really
the
not
community.
that much older than them. They like to joke around, but I've got a little more professional experience. Like, I come from like a business management, business sales experience for like 10 years and everything like that. Took over some small companies and built them up from, less than $1 million to $2 million plus.
That's amazing.
Managing 15 different employees. So it's like, I kind of had like a little bit of like more professional experience, I guess, in that regards.
The legal side of things.
Yeah, exactly. So
exactly.
I thought that like, hey, as a value member of this community, like I want to chime in, like I want to see you guys be successful. And then it just like a natural organic relationship kind of took off from there. But yeah, they always joke around like, yeah, you're definitely the dad of the community, at least like for the team. Like we first met each other in real life, like at NFT New York City, like back in June. So a couple months ago. And I remember like the first night we went out, like once they got in town, like, you know, I had like a t-shirt and just like a blazer on, like, you know, it's New York City. So I wanted to look like decently sharp. And like, as we're walking out, they're like, dude, why do you look like our dads right now? And I was just like, man.
Yeah, we got a little bit. We have a little bit of different style, like clothing wise.
So they definitely roast me all the time about that, but I like to think I'm decently young and hip, but you know, I am an old soul, so I take it with a grain of salt. Like I don't hate it at all.
That's what makes the team so great, honestly, is he has different ideas than us, you know, and so we can actually collab on that type of stuff.
Yeah, more brain power.
Yeah, it's we have a council with like 13 different members on it. It's nice because I like to see different perspectives, not because I don't think like I'm always right about everything. Like I don't like I'm not that kind of person, and so to get feedback on whatever it is, to see their perspective and how it comes off is nice before you announce it. And it's just kind of like, you know, you're testing the waters a little bit on ideas and how to execute them.
Yeah, we have a lot of voting. It definitely
helps. Yeah, because like we have people like from like early 20s all the way to like mid 50s, and it's
that's what I love about the space too.
Yeah, exactly. That's like the only time like
the wide variety of age.
Yeah, like in like the crypto space, like our NFT projects in general, it's like you can become best friends with like someone that's like I said, like 18 years old and they're a total G-Gen, or it's like someone that's like 55 and already has grandkids, but like they have like disposable income that they're willing to pour in this and take a risk. So it's like when you get different perspective and backgrounds from people that like, okay, we all kind of have a vision and like where we want things to go, and you get different opinions, like then it really comes to like you have engaging conversations and things that are extremely productive to where like, okay, I thought this was a good idea, but now that I've got some feedback from people within the community, like maybe it wasn't, and then they can pitch ideas. So that's one of the things that I think we definitely like value within our project in general is like we are extremely cognizant of like what the community like what they want and like what their suggestions are, and we've pivoted multiple times to kind of like take those things into consideration. So
that's great.
And with like the age difference, actually, even in the NFT and crypto space in general, I've actually learned more like on doing this stuff than I have ever learned in real life at all.
Oh, I know. Me,
so it's like
I can agree to that
anything, like literally.
You guys look young as well too. Like, you know, not anything like after 30.
No.
Hey, hold.
I'm 21. I'll put it out there.
Hey, I'm 21.
Yeah.
I'm 26.
Nice. All right, so I'm the
younger.
I'm 30 years old, so this is great. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, bro! Dude, you have grandkids already?
I do. You'd be surprised, man. I don't know. Hopefully not. But
hopefully not.
Cap, you're what? 21.
I'm 21.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, it's great to see the wide variety of age, and I mean, what I truly like to think that just any input from other perspectives is better than no input at all. Because I mean, regardless of what they had to say and offer to you as their opinion, it's going to maybe reflect the way you view your creation or what you're trying to put out to the world. But in reality, it's just there to kind of just have as just a judgment side of things.
Definitely.
Just a second, just like another point of view, more or less.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because like, I don't think it's one way or the highway, you know. I like to bounce things off. Like, I don't just like, you know, sometimes you might have an idea that pops up and it's good, but I don't just like to sit by myself and spin in the chair and try to think of, you know, ideas and stuff like that.
I do that in my shower. I just stand there and just literally think.
Bro, I'm the same way. I'll be there 30 minutes just thinking.
Dude, yeah. I just be going crazy and just coming up with so many ideas. Like this, literally this.
Hey, that's true. That's awesome.
Yeah, we might need to cop some of those. I was checking out the website earlier.
Yeah, I'd love to.
You guys got some good looking merch. For sure.
Appreciate it. It's all embroidered. All the clothing and hats are all embroidered. So, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Who's your supplier?
Yeah. Who's my supplier? I use a third party through Shopify. Like, my margins aren't good at all, but I'm willing to take that hit to provide quality to the community.
Exactly. And spread the
Because
word.
it's all about longevity at the end of the day. I'd rather get the
Yeah.
brand out there in masses where
That's
more
very
people
smart.
are wearing it, and I'm not making as much as I could, but like the brand's getting out there and more people are starting to know about slowly but surely.
It's
More
Yeah.
focused on
insanely smart.
growth, less focused about
Oh, yeah.
the dollar right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
you guys have
when
done
you
a great
know
job
that
with
you're
that.
building something great.
Yeah.
You know, if you have that mindset.
Yeah, for sure. It's, you know, the only person stopping you from doing anything is yourself. You know,
Yeah, of
that's how I
course.
look at it.
All right.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I was checking out Zeus Marketplace,
Yeah.
and obviously you guys have your couple collections of of your koalas, and they have the points next to them. What is that point system that you have going for that? Because I saw like 1 point and then like 3 points on the different
12
collections.
points and there. Yeah. For
Yeah.
you
Go
guys.
ahead, Mal.
Yeah. So this was kind of my brainchild. So these are some of the things that they brought me on for as chief strategy officer. But really what it boiled down to is, you know, when I first came on board with the project, like I said, like late March, give or take, it was kind of the unique period within the HBAR NFT space. Like if you want to take a trip down memory lane, where a lot of the liquidity had started to dry up. So between like, you know, March, April, May, a lot of people were like, okay, I probably overspent my HBAR in the NFTs and made terrible decisions. Like now I'm going to be a little more cautious like how I'm doing things. So, you know, I kind of like said when I came in, like, okay, we need to do not necessarily damage control, but like we need to like kind of react to like what the current market conditions are. So, you know, I kind of came up with like this whole point system and really I wanted to provide utility to like our Gen 1 holders. So, you know, essentially what I wanted to do was, you know, we wanted to get into farming, we wanted to get into staking. We knew eventually down the road we were going to create like our own utility token. We had the ideas initially of like the play to earn game and like all these things kind of tying together. But it boiled down to like, you know, the goal is, okay, if you have a normal koala, it's worth 1 point, or you have like a different collection, like a more rare one, like an ultra koala is worth 5 points, or our EVIP pass was worth 12 points. As you accumulate more points, like kind of you get better perks and better rewards.
Gotcha.
So the more points and koalas that you have, within our farming system, it's essentially like a tiered farming system. So the more points you have, like you qualify for better tiers. The better the tier, the better the prize you can get. Whether that's, you know, different koalas, whether it's like a Gen 1 koala or like another rare one, like an ultra, whether it's a more HBAR harvest prize that you can get, whether it's more from our utility token, like whitelist for Gen 2 or 3, whatever it may be. And then on top of that, it was for the long-term vision of like once we launched our utility token, so Koala Hashcoin, like what the allotment would be per point. So same thing, like if you have more points on a biweekly basis, you're going to get more of the KHK deposited into your wallet. So that was kind of like the game plan behind all that. In addition, it was like, because we were so early in the space, like when we first minted like our Gen 1, like Cap, you can probably talk about this a little bit better because you're the one that does a lot of this stuff. Like the first token ID we created for Gen 1, like only had like 1,000 NFTs available on it.
Yeah.
It's like, in retrospect, like we probably should have done like a bigger one, and we kind of shot ourselves in the foot with that. So I kind of came up with like these different unique mechanisms to provide utility for the community and to basically help alleviate problems further on down the road. So that was kind of the
Yeah,
whole
and
synopsis
just
behind it, I
Nice.
guess.
also to touch on that, yeah, like he said, I mean, that was kind of like in the early stages of just being, you know, early. The
Yeah.
tool system that we had, just there was a certain limit on NFTs like getting minted out, and like just learning about that curve kind of like set us back a little bit. So then we couldn't, you know, keep minting on that token ID. So we kind of had to move into different token IDs. I mean,
Gotcha.
now obviously like we can go in and mint on the same token ID, and we could have a 10K supply on that token ID, even if the supply, let's say, is 1,000 NFTs. So if you mess up, anything like that. So it's like just kind of being, you know, an OG, just going through different tools.
Makes
as we
sense.
grow.
Yeah. I have
Yeah.
one question about the token that you guys are trying to create.
Yeah.
Are you guys worried about security guidelines down the road with creating some sort of like token gateway system?
Yeah, so full disclosure, the token is completely worthless. There is no value for it. Okay. So that's the legal side coming out. There is no perceived value. This is not an investment in the company. You will not get any return on investment. It is strictly a utility token that will fuel our ecosystem.
Hey, Corbin, at least they're saying that on the Alt Kings.
Yeah.
That's true. You can play this back in court just in case.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, obviously, like, you know, especially us being, you know, U.S. based and everything, that's obviously a concern.
Yeah.
Especially with, you know, the SEC and the gray area that we are, because like we're so early in the space at this point. and until a lot of these security issues get like figured out, it is a bit of a risk. But I think the way that we position ourselves, the way that we didn't do like an initial coin offering, we didn't do an IDO. It was strictly just like, once again, it's going to help fuel our economy within our own
liquidity.
Ecosystem. Yeah, exactly. And so like you'll be able to use it for, buying other koalas, playing the play to earn game, things of that nature. So yeah, once again, there's no perceived value. It's completely worthless. It's just something that we use to provide utility to the project itself, for different aspects that we have coming down the pipeline.
Yeah, amazing.
It's just like playing Monopoly. It's just a game.
Fake money.
Yeah. Yes. So Gary Gensler, please do not call me. Yeah.
Yeah. So I only had one last thing to ask, or more or less just to point out. I saw one thing. It was kind of deep in the archives of the Koala Club, quality banter.
Yes. Okay. So that was started before I came on board. So Cap or Buck, why don't you guys go ahead and take the mic and go a little further into that?
Corbin, if you don't know Corbin, it's their own podcast that they have called Quality Banter.
I don't know. I see. I don't know how I didn't know about this, but
only 2 episodes, and I think they were filmed in either March or May.
Yeah, so it's probably best you don't know about it. Let's just like
were they filmed with a toaster? Because if so, I'll watch it.
More of like.
No, I think it was just our way of trying to be more engageful with the community, and
of course,
we just needed a better structure, and we're doing better about doing Twitter Spaces and coming on to things like this. But until we get that, structure set, we're not going to continue to do that, because we want to be well presented, like what you guys are doing and stuff like that.
It takes a lot of time, basically, like to have so many things set up. I mean, every single day we're in a call, just at least us 3 or with the whole team or anything, like throughout every single day. It could be 3 to 6 hours. We had like a 6-hour call a couple of days ago, and it's like takes a lot of your time, and that's just brainstorming and talking and stuff. And then you got to do like developer work and in the community, everything. And just having like a podcast on the side, like it's definitely a goal, and we're still going to focus on that going forward. But it's
a really good name.
Hard to keep track.
Yeah, it is. It's a great name.
Yeah, no, exactly, and that's why we got to get it back up and running. But yeah, I think just like kind of like Cap and Buck were saying, it was maybe initially we bit off a little too much of the apple that we could chew, to where we had so much things going on, and like Cap was saying, like between meetings with partnerships and trying to expand the community and the things we have coming down the pipeline. Between meetings with the artists, our team, we do a really good job of having like organized and constructed meetings like within our own community, like within our council and like EVIP members and everything. So like that kind of fell off a little bit. So it was like, okay, well, there's only so much time, and you have to kind of prioritize the things that like you really want to focus on. So I think maybe like probably Q1, Q2, 2023, where things start slowing down, like then maybe we could do it again and start providing project updates during that avenue. But just like the amount of stuff that we're working on right now, it's just like there's no time to sit down and do a constructive and well-organized podcast at this point. So
yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It might be worthwhile to add another person to your team that could handle that if you can.
Or more or less just try to do it like maybe once every other week.
Yeah.
Something
more make it super stressful on yourself.
Yeah.
And the other thing is like, it's obviously balancing the schedule. Like, okay, like obviously NFT projects are like worldwide. So it's like people on our accounts or within our community. It's like we have people based in like the West Coast, United States, East Coast. We have people that are based in Europe, Asia, India.
All the time zones.
So it's like there's really never like when you try and organize like, 10, 15, 20, 50 people to do a call or like a podcast or whatever, maybe like there's never a conducive time for everyone. So it's just a matter of like, we try and do it. Then all of a sudden it's like, okay, only, 8 out of 25 people responded. So it's like, okay, like, well, I guess we'll just do it next weekend. And then things come up and you keep pushing them off. So
but like the podcast,
Koala Club assistant.
Yeah. If we had, like, you guys don't just come on here and go, all right, we're going to get in a call with Koala Club. You guys have, the structure behind it and the, the questions and details and, the rhythm in it as well. Like, I think that's where another issue was, like, we had too many people on the quality banter where it's just like, I feel like in this podcast, we've done a great job just bouncing off each other. But like when we were doing it, it was a little bit of a struggle. So it's like,
and it really just comes down to understanding who you're talking with and getting to know the individual and just adapting to the atmosphere, really.
Yeah. Flow is definitely a big thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think we definitely enjoy doing like, these types of podcasts or Twitter spaces where it's like, it's more open-ended. Like it's not, obviously it's structured, but like it's getting to know each other. You can kind of explain like your background, your journey, give some project updates, things of that nature. So these are things that like, these are actually the fun stuff. The stressful stuff is like all the things on the back end that we're doing right now. So
it's like after this
we really
call,
appreciate
then we'll
you guys'
get
time for
stressed
bringing
again.
us on here for sure.
Of course, yeah. I mean, that's terrible. But yeah, you'd be kind of surprised. Like me and Corbin are very structured with how we go about these. But in our previous episodes in the very beginning, we used to literally have like a notebook that we just base off of. And now we've obviously gained a lot more experience, and we're able to just structure things off of our prior experience, and then just basically flow with whatever questions come to mind.
Yeah,
that's good, man. Especially like long term with more podcasts you guys have.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like learning with anything. You just gotta keep doing it and then figure out.
Yeah, it's just consistency. Literally, to win at life is just consistency. Like people make it seem like it's so much harder than it actually is, but in reality, to win at life is just to be consistent with something and never stop on it, and then you'll win.
Yeah, it's the discipline. Yeah, discipline and consistent.
Yeah, because motivation, like you're not gonna be motivated all the time. So like discipline outweighs motivation.
Yeah.
Every time in my books.
Yeah. It's been a true pleasure having you boys onto the podcast tonight, and I'm glad we finally were able to knock this one out. But Corbin, you have something?
Yeah, Corbin got something.
Yeah. I couldn't figure out how to structure this into the flow of everything. But Cap, you had mentioned earlier about how you guys originally had too many traits, and how you had to axe some of them down. How do you go about calculating that, or figuring out how much is too much?
That's a great question, actually, and it kind of just depends on your supply in general. Like if we're gonna have 800, we're not gonna shoot for 200 traits or something. So it's kind of like more of playing with generation and kind of throwing it into the randomizer and just seeing what you get. And if you see too many of one trait and you're like, oh, I need to cut that down, but then you're looking at, oh, I don't want everything rare, so you have too many traits because there's lower percents. But then if you have,
sorry, go ahead. Cap.
I was just gonna say, too little.
We had over 100. We had like over 120 traits or whatever for like the drop one for Gen 2, and then it was like, damn, okay, literally everything is like 1 to 3% rarity. So like we understand like trading and flipping is like a big thing like within the HBAR NFT community and just NFTs in general. So like if everything is like too rare, then it's kind of hard to create like an actual market price and like a floor price for your project and for the collection. So like the silver lining was like, okay, maybe we did too much for Gen 2 as far as the traits are concerned, but now when Gen 3 comes around, like we've already got a lot of the traits placed. So like it'll definitely help alleviate some of the stresses about that. But yeah, it's like one of those things where we knew there needed to be a hierarchy and like kind of a tiered system. Like, okay, these are, common, these are rare, these are legendary, whatever you want to call it. So that was kind of like the whittling down process. And that was, once again, just multiple calls, like over several hours. And we're like arguing and debating back and forth. And like, we're like, no, man, like I really want this one in the collection. And then like Cap and like, dude, all right, we got to X this one, but I really want this one. So it was definitely like a battle to kind of like, figure out which ones we're going to keep and which ones we had to maybe shelve just for, the next time.
Yeah, there's a lot of issues with like the layering and stuff like that where we're like, okay, this one's just too consistent of having issues. And, whether we like it, we got to cancel out because it's just a problem on our end. So that was like the 6-hour call that we had that took, to get all that squared away. And then we had like another 5-hour one the day before. So, it took like 10 or 11 hours to get everything, situated and squared away where we were happy with the results that,
Correct. And then Cap, you can probably chime in too. Like then there was like some layering issues to where like, okay, like we really did like this trait. And, we kind of wanted things to be like, okay, we have a theme and a look and a feel of like what the collection is. But when you incorporate certain traits, then you have like layering issues that happen later on. So that was some of the issues that we ran into as well, where we had to chop some ones that like we didn't necessarily want to. But we ended up figuring out, I think the collection came out great so far. So we're super stoked about it.
And that's really all that matters is if you are happy with it.
Yeah, and I was going to say also, like, if that question was in general as well, like for any community or like project, I think you need to do like a deep dive on the marketplace of Solana and Ethereum and HBAR and look at the percents that you're going to buy the NFTs of, and then you'll kind of look at your own project and be like, okay, that's kind of like the rarity percentages.
Exactly. Yeah.
Makes sense. Cool. Well, I appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Do you have any
You guys are killing it. We wish you guys the best down the road, and hopefully we'll be able to get you guys on again after Gen 3's dropped.
Yeah, hopefully I'll see more Koala PFPs. I know that Big Chili is always rocking the Spartan one, and Duruler's got his rocking his too.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, the Spartan one will be that's actually a sneak peek for the Play to Earn game. So
nice.
Maybe once that gets closer to fully development, like I said, we hopefully should start production probably end of the month or first week of November. And we're looking to release that, probably late Q1, Q2. So maybe once some of that stuff comes out, we can definitely talk about the play to earn aspects and how that space is further developed on the network and some of the issues we ran into and some of the things we had to go through to make sure that we brought the game to life. So
yeah, I was already ready to talk about it here, but we guess we couldn't.
Ran out of time, I guess. But
on the next episode of the Alt Kings.
Yeah, there we go.
Part 2. But yeah, we really appreciate it, guys. Thanks for taking the time.
Of course.
You guys are doing an awesome job crushing with the channel. You guys have seen a lot of growth over the past couple months. So we appreciate you being part of the community, help spreading the word, and give us a platform just to talk about koalas.
Yeah.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah, we appreciate you coming on.
To see the whole entire community grow. Yeah.
Of course, man. Yeah, it was really nice meeting you guys, and always happy to talk and anything forward.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was really fun, really enjoyable.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, most definitely.
And ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, this has been the Alt Kings podcast, and we will see you next episode. Peace.